Today I'd like to talk about drills. Believe it or not, I've seen a lot of people struggle with drills. I know it's a tool that a lot of people have used, but I'd like to give you some pointers so you won't be that person struggling. I've seen adults struggle with the drills and young people, and there's just a couple pointers that I can give you to make it go a lot better. Plus, I want to show you a couple different styles of drills so then you can kind of understand which drill you might use for different situations. The first one I'm going to start off with is a really fun drill. This is a right angle drill, and it's called that because this is a right angle. So it fits into really small spots. I like it for working on the inside of cabinets and things like that. So it's really handy. It has a big long trigger, so that way you know if you're in a tight spot, you might be able to work the trigger in different spots. This one has a belt clip on it. It happens to be cordless, so the battery would have to go in there. Right now there is a spade bit in the drill. So this one drills. This one would drill a 3/4 inch diameter spade bit. Spade bits they cut pretty rough, so they tear up the wood a little bit, but they cut fast. So they're really good for pine and softwood lumbers because they cut nice. You probably wouldn't use a spade bit on oak or a hardwood lumber as much, but this is a right angle drill. Next up this is just a corded drill. This is a corded drill. It's a little bit bigger. I use it for mixing or jobs that require a little more power. So anytime you have a drill with a cord, it's probably going to have more power than most of the cordless drills. This one has a handle, so that way you can put the handle on here and tighten that down. Sometimes if you're using a really powerful drill and it twists on you, if you catch and it twists, it can actually break your wrist. So some of these good drills, they give you a handle to hold on to for a little extra support. This one happens to be a hammer drill. So you can turn the hammer feature on or off, and the hammer feature, what it does is the chuck, this is called the chuck of the drill, will bounce back and forth, and it gives it an impact to help work a drill bit or a drill into a surface. So for example, I use a hammer feature when I'm drilling into concrete, and that makes the bit kind of hammer into the concrete at the same time it's spinning, and that action makes it work a lot better. So just to kind of demonstrate a little bit, I'll just push it down this block. So that's the hammer feature. It's wanting to bump like that. When I turn the hammer feature off, you notice it was a lot quieter. It's not trying to bump without the hammer feature. So this drill has a keyed chuck. So this drill, in order to open the chuck, open and close it, you just twist this, but then to set it in, you're going to put this key in these holes and tighten it down. And you're going to want to work your way around to all three holes, and then it really tightens down the drill bit or the driver bit or whatever you have in there really well. So the keyed chucks, I really like them actually. Because they really hold secure. The bad thing is you have to always have the key. So they're kind of hard to find sometimes. This one happens to have a holder right here on the cord that you can kind of put that in. That makes it really nice as well. So this is just a really good size corded drill, and it's a hammer drill. Another drill feature I want to show you. So I have a couple cordless drills because I'm doing lots of work, and it's a lot quicker to have a couple drills, and some of them are getting a little wore out. And sometimes I just buy them actually for the battery packs, because when you need new battery packs, it's almost cheaper just to buy a new drill. So here's a couple features. This is a really common cordless drill, and it has a keyless chuck. So this one, in order to take the drill bit on and off, you just twist it, and then the drill bit will get removed. And then you put it in, and then you'll twist it again, and you'll hear it click. You're trying to get this pretty tight so it doesn't fall off while you're using it. So because it's a keyless chuck, sometimes they don't grab the bits quite as well, and sometimes they'll fall out and things like that. One thing you want to do is when you get your bit in, you want to turn it on real slow to make sure the bit's not wobbling, that you actually have it mounted in the chuck correctly. This happens to be a twist drill bit. This drill bit would work good in plastic, metal, or wood. And when you buy a drill bit, they usually sell them by the diameter of the drill bit. So that's the diameter of the hole that it will drill. I should show you my drill index, and I show this in a couple of my videos, but this helps me determine the size of the diameter of the drill bit. So I can just put I would want to put the cutting end into the drill index, because sometimes this shank over here will be different diameters to fit the drill a little bit better, but this will help you determine what diameter drill bit you have, because sometimes the words on here get really worn off. So you just find the hole that fits the drill bit perfect, and then you'll know what size it is. So this one fits perfect right there, and it is 27/64. That's what diameter that drill bit is. So a couple other things you need to know about the drills is they have a speed. A number 2 would be fast speed, number 1 would be low speed. Faster speeds are going to be for smaller diameter drill bits. Slower speeds will be for bigger drill bits, and drilling into metal you're going to go at a slower speed. Often we drill too fast, so when I watch people trying to drill, they're often using the rotation, or the RPMs, rotations per minute, are too quick, and it's actually it's not helping. Sometimes you need to actually go slower for the drill bit to actually do its job. So most of the drills that I own have a variable speed trigger. So when I push the trigger, it will go in different speeds, okay? And then this is like a secondary speed. So if I put this on number 1, it'll only go that fast. If I put this on number 2, it's going to go quite a bit faster. But ultimately, I can control the speed by using the variable speed trigger. So a lot of times when I use my variable speed trigger, I'm only squeezing in just a little bit, and it's going to do a lot better job for me. Especially when I'm using a driver bit, I'm putting in screws and things like that. It's going to make it's going to make a big difference if I can go at a slower speed. So, for example, this drill here has a driver bit in it, so this helps put screws in it as a square head driver, and I need to go at a little bit slower speed to put this in. One common mistake I see a lot of times with drilling is that they'll be going the wrong direction. So this drill has a forward and reverse, so the arrow pointing this way means forward, and then I would shift it around here, and that would be reverse. So it's just this button that goes back and forth. If it's in the middle, it locks the trigger, so it won't do anything. So sometimes a student will come to me and they're like, the drill's broken, it won't go anywhere. Well, you need to actually engage it in forward or reverse. It's just the trigger happens to be locked, and that will make it a little bit different. So another feature that a lot of my drills have is called, it has a clutch on it, and basically these settings, so right now it's in the drill setting, and then you can rotate it to different numbers, and these numbers are how much the drill will work before the clutch activates. So a number that's really low, like a 2 or a 3, you would not be able to put a screw in very deep, and then the clutch will activate. And the whole purpose of the clutch would be if you're putting screws in a soft material like drywall, you would only want the screw to go in so far. And that way the clutch will automatically stop the drill before it goes in too deep, which will really help out. So let me demonstrate this a little bit. I'm going to put this at number 3, and I'm going to grab a screw, and I'm just going to try to screw into this board, okay, and you'll see, I'll try to put it in, okay, that's as far as that will go now, because it's stopping at my level 3. So now I'm going to move it to level 7, so I go to level 7, and it went in a little further as you saw, but then now it's clicking because it won't go in any further. So now I go to level 11, and it's going to go in quite a bit more, okay, it looks like level 11 is a pretty good level, because I'm able to put the screw in where I need it to be. Now, when I bottom it out, so now it's starting to click. Sometimes, a lot of it, when we're using hardwood lumber like oak and maple, you just have to actually put this all the way on the drill mode to get the screws in. But I just want you to know this clutch. Sometimes my high school students will set this at like 1, so my middle school students will go to use it and it'll go and it won't work for them. Some drills have a nice little holder for driver bits that you can put in the side, which is kind of fun as well. These two drills look identical, but they have different motors in them. This one has a brushless motor in it, and this one has a brush motor in it. So there's a lot of opinions on these two types of motors. Brushless motors are said to last longer, and I believe that. But I do feel like you lose a little bit of power. I feel like a brush motor has just a little bit more power than a brushless motor, in my opinion. So lots of information out there on the difference between brushless motors and brush motors. Brushless motors are usually a little bit more expensive depending on the application, but usually the brushless motors you pay a little bit more because they last longer. Another drill I have right here, this is called an impact drill. So this drill has a higher torque rating, and this one's designed for taking off bolts. So you can put sockets on it and it can take off bolts. And this is, you know, it's a pretty small drill still. So for me to take the lug nuts off my truck would be very difficult with this. It's not going to work. But if I want to take some bolts off another project that I'm working on, or maybe a smaller car that doesn't have such tight lug nuts, I may be able to do that. But it's kind of like an impact. It does have a little kind of hammer action to it, and it has a really good torque. So instead of stalling out, like these drills will just stall out when you go to try to remove something that's too tight. This will keep trying with more torque. So kind of a fun little tool. I hardly ever use this, to be completely honest with you. Once in a while when I'm working on my car or something, I'll use it. Some people use this to drive in screws. They put a driver bit in there and use it to put in screws right in hardwood lumber and everything. And I don't prefer that, but I've seen some people have some pretty good luck with it. And I think you strip out a couple more screws that way and break the heads off a couple more screws, but some people really, they prefer that method. So it kind of is a preference thing. One more drill bit I want to show you. This drill bit is called a Forstner bit, and it drills really flat, clean holes, and it has good shaving removal and things like that. You would never use this one on metal. It will work on plastic, but really its preferred material is solid lumber of some sort. Works fine in plywood as well. So there's a little bit about drills. Not sure if I missed anything or not. A lot of the battery packs, you know, you're going to squeeze a button and then it will slide out. These battery packs have indicators that tell you how much battery is left, which is really handy, but you pay quite a bit for them. So, you know, this is another one. It's a really thin battery, but it's high power, and, you know, it's about $100 just for this one battery. Whereas, you know, you buy one that doesn't have all the fancy indicators and you can get two for $100. So probably a better value on these. But sometimes for different tools, you might want a little bit different drill. Okay, there's some information on drills. Hopefully you picked up something new that